Hello again. It looks increasingly as though the lockdown which we saw during the COVID business was a rehearsal or trial run for a way of life which is fast becoming permanent. People were told not to go to their places of work at that time, and now a lot of organisations, including things like government departments and high street banks, have adopted working from home as the new normal. At one time, going out to the pictures was a popular way of spending our time. Now we sit at home with a box set or watch the latest blockbuster on Netflix or Amazon Prime. Instead of going out for a meal, we telephone Just Eat or Deliveroo. Even if we do choose to travel somewhere, public transport is becoming increasingly dreadful and horribly expensive. Go by car and you'll encounter ULEZ charges, 20-mile-an-hour speed limits and low traffic neighbourhoods. Over everything looms the shadow of the 15-minute city, of course, which will ultimately mean that you won't need to travel anywhere anymore. Everything will be within a short walk of your door. Every aspect of modern life in this country urges you not to set foot out of your home and to stay indoors and let services be brought to you. In other words, what was a few years ago mandated by law, what you might describe as the stick, is now being brought in the name of convenience and luxury. That's the carrot. Whichever way you look at it, the message remains the same. It is the same as the wartime slogan once used on posters in Britain, which may be seen in the thumbnail to this video. Is your journey really necessary? I have no idea whether this is part of some master plan to impose a new lockdown on us. If so, then it would argue for an immense and all-embracing conspiracy which involved every agency, from the government and Amazon down to the local bus companies and restaurants which deliver to our door. It is perhaps a little far-fetched to suggest that they're all in league. But whatever the reason, it is something which is definitely happening. I invite viewers to ask themselves how often they have seen a film released and decided that rather than go to the cinema to see it, they would wait until it turned up on Netflix or Sky. How many times have they had meals delivered in the last year where once they might have visited a restaurant or at the very least gone to the local place, bought the food there and taken it home? Even collecting a takeaway has become a thing of the past for most people. Anyone watching this seen a local bus service cancelled or the services reduced in the last year? What about going to central London in the evening and finding that bars are closing at an earlier time than was once the case? How many people watching this go to the pub anymore, and who just buys their alcohol from a supermarket and drinks at home instead? 1,000 years ago, peasants hardly ever moved more than a mile or two from their homes. They had no need to do so. They tilled land near their villages or farms. They had no reason to go further afield. We are now moving towards a similar arrangement whereby most of us do not actually need to leave our homes for days on end. We are entering a new lockdown, one not enforced by the authorities, but rather as a way of life which promises us convenience and pleasure.